It's been about a week since the unfortunate and tragic news hit us that Liam Payne passed away at the age of 31 in Buenos Aires after falling off a balcony in Argentina. Of course, the autopsy has been released at the time of me recording this, and it was, very notable that there were a lot of drugs in Liam Payne's system at the time of him passing. And unfortunately, due to the injuries sustained, there were no significant injuries to his arms, which, if you were falling from that height, it's been speculated that you would put your arms out to try and, as a natural reaction, to try and catch yourself. And based off of the lack of injuries to the arms, it's theorised, not confirmed, that Liam Payne may not have brought his arms up to try and catch himself, which has led people to speculate and, also think that maybe Liam Payne at the time of him falling was either completely unconscious or semi-unconscious, which, based off of the injury sustained, things tend to match up. But there has been obviously a lot go on since Liam Payne's passing. Of course, it's taken the world by storm. Nobody could have possibly seen this coming. And unfortunately, the sad reality has now started to settle that Liam Payne has gone, and and things like this. But off the back of Liam Payne's passing, a lot of people have started to kind of look back at Liam Payne's life. And clips from the Diary of a CEO podcast that he did back in 2021 have started to resurface, especially where Liam Payne was talking about his early days in the band One Direction. Now, obviously, that's a huge band off the back of X Factor. Simon Cowell signed them to their label, Psycho Records, all the rest of it. It was incredibly exciting, but, Payne rose to global fame at the age of just 14. He was 14 years old, which is incredibly young, especially when you think about brain development, right? So you've got to think, in a typical human brain, around 25 years old is when your brain stops growing and developing. And the last part of your brain to grow is your frontal cortex. So the frontal cortex manages things like risk, emotion, it's basically like fight or flight and those kind of responses. And it's like your maturity as well. So you've got to think that Liam Payne at the age of 14 has still got a long way to go in terms of his development, not just physically, but mentally as well. And he's suddenly been thrust into the limelight in front of millions of people who are adoring him. But also on the flip side to that, there's a lot of criticism that can come from a very young age, to a 14-year-old child who could be, they might not know how to manage that effectively. And off the back of that, there have been petitions that have been started up to try and overcome that for young pop stars who want to break out into music, but are still obviously incredibly young. Now, nobody should be receiving horrific messages and all the rest of it and, should be exposed to these really bad things. But unfortunately, based off of the world that we live in and based off of social media, it's inevitable, right? But this, there's been thousands of people sign a petition for something brand new and for things to change. So obviously, like I said, Payne rose to global fame after his appearance on the X Factor when he was just 14 years old. On the show, he became of the boy band One Direction alongside Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, and also Niall Horan. The group was popular with viewers and grew a cult following overnight. So you've got to imagine Liam Payne, obviously, and everyone involved in that group went from nobodies, right? Nobody knew who they were, to overnight sensations. They were like the next best thing since fucking sliced bread, right? So they were the next best thing since sliced bread. So let's have a look at this article. Payne had previously spoken out about his struggles he faced during his time with the group with Stephen Bartlett on the Diary of a CEO podcast in 2021. The pop star recalled, "When we were in the band, the best way to secure us because of how big it was to lock us in our rooms. And of course, what's in our room? A minibar. So at a certain point, I thought, well, I'm going to have a party for one, and it just seemed to carry on for many years in my life." So, you know, obviously that's obviously quite sad to think that, you know, the only way that you can manage this group, they can't go out anywhere. They can't go out to a restaurant and enjoy a meal. They can't go out to a bar and enjoy one drink responsibly. They have to be confined to their rooms, right? So, obviously, in the minibar, he then goes on to talk about that. The singer also shared the level of fame that he had reached left him crippled with anxiety. He became nervous to venture outside, as per this article right here. Since Payne's death, there has been an outcry for more support for younger people in the entertainment industry with teenagers when teenagers are exposed to such heightened levels of fame. A new petition has been set up calling for legislations and safeguard artists' mental health in the entertainment industry. This is absolutely something that must be in place, and the fact that it's not already in place is absolutely despicable, because you've got to think, like I said, these teenage boys were suddenly, they were free to do what they want. If they made a mistake, you know, maybe their families knew about it, maybe their friends knew about it, maybe their town knew about it, depending on how bad it was. That's not necessarily a horrific thing. But if you make a mistake now in the position that they're in, you've got media attention, you've got social media attention, you've got fan attention, you've got hate videos going out, you've got all sorts of things coming out, you've got Twitter posts going out left, right and centre about you. Before you know it, your mistakes are absolutely everywhere and you can't hide from it. That must be crippling with anxiety, because you can't afford to mess up. And if you do, you better hope that you can change it quick. Otherwise, you're going to get absolutely ripped apart by the world. And that is quite a scary thought. The petition was set up on October 18th and currently has over 41,000 signatures. Its description reads, "The entertainment industry, acclaimed for its glamour and stardom, is equally infamous for its enormous pressure on experts on the mental health of artists. Resultant issues such as stress, anxiety, depression, substance misuse, and even suicide are alarmingly high. In recent news, Liam Payne's tragic death, as many others, the entertainment industry needs to be held accountable for and be responsible for the welfare of their artists," the petition continues. The Change for People is hoping to bring the legislation into, and it's called Liam's Law. Fans have praised the petition, writing, "This is so important. In other states, we have lost too many young people to this, and something needs to be placed to protect children and young adults." If you'd like to sign the petition, click here, and then it takes us over to the petition, which I am going to leave. So it's now had 91,000 signatures. I'm actually going to leave a link to this down in the description. So if you want to sign this petition as well, you're more than welcome to get involved. I think it's something that is incredibly important. I think it's something that, I mean, it shouldn't have taken for this person to pass away for this to become recognised. You know, the issues with the industry. Like, you know, these people are put under such immense pressure, and sometimes the only outlet that they can find to cope with that pressure and with that anxiety is to depend on something else, which may be substances, it may be alcohol, it may be anything, right? It may be, like, there are some healthy traits out there for sure, but the majority that we find out are unhealthy, and that can lead to horrific things happening. So, you know, definitely, if that is something that you feel is important to you, or you feel like you want involved, then be sure to get down in the description where you can sign the petition for yourself. We're currently at 91,000 signatures. 28,000 people have signed it today, which is absolutely immense. But let me know what you guys think. I really would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you think that the industry needs to be held more accountable for these kinds of things, or do you think it is solely down to the artists themselves to manage themselves? Let me know what you think. While you're down there, be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button. You know, share that petition out with your friends. You don't have to share this video. Just share that petition if you think that other people might find that important. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.